Hello, good morning, boys and girls. We are on page 138, lesson 26 homework. Make sure you are turning to the correct page. For number 1, it asks you to create two whole number division problems that have a quotient of 9 and a remainder of 5. Justify which is greater using decimal division. So I'm going to be creating two whole number division problems. Quotient means to answer to a division problem. And your answer is going to have 9 with a remainder of 5. So this is what it should look like at the top of this division bar. So 9 remainder 5. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm multiplying 8 times 9, which is equal to 72. 77 minus 72 is equal to 5. So that means that my remainder is equal to 5. So I showed one equation. And now I'm going to show the other equation. I'm going to use 9 remainder 5 and 10. And you can use any number right here. You can change it to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever is up to you. Now I'm going to multiply. 10 times 9 is equal to 90. 5 minus 0 is equal to 5. 9 minus 9 is equal to 0, so I don't need to write that. My remainder is equal to 5. So now what I'm going to do is justify which is greater using decimal division. In order to justify, they want me to use a decimal division. So that's what I'm showing you right here on these two parts. Okay, so I have 8 divided by 77. So I'm going to figure out how many times can 8 go into 77. 8 can go into 77 9 times, just like this. But I'm adding decimals to extend it. Now, that is equal to 72. Subtract. 7 minus 2 is equal to 5. Add a 0. Bring down your 5. Bring down your 0. 8 can go into 50 6 times. 6 times 8 is equal to 48. I'm going to subtract. 0 minus 8 cannot happen. I need to regroup. My 5 changes to 4. 0 turns to a 10. 10 minus 8 is equal to 2. I'm going to add a 0 and continue. Now, how many times can 8 go into 20? I know that 8 times 2 is equal to 16, which is the closest number. I cannot subtract 0 minus 6, so I'm going to regroup. 10 minus 6 is equal to 4. 2 changes to a 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. I don't have to write that, but if you want to, you can. Now I'm going to bring down my other 0. How many times can 8 go into 40? 5 times. 40 minus 40 is equal to 0. Don't forget to bring up your decimal. So my final answer is 9 and 625 thousandths. Now I'm going to try 10. I have 10. How many times can 10 go into 95? 10 can go into 95 9 times. 10 times 9 is equal to 90. 5 minus 0 is equal to 5. Add a decimal and a 0. Bring down your 0. How many times can 10 go into 50? 5 times. 10 times 5 is equal to 50. Subtract, and I get 0. So which number is greater? We're going to see that 9.625, or 8 divided by 9, or 8 divided by 77, is greater than 10 divided by 95. So I'm going to highlight that so you guys can see that answer that is being written down. That is your sentence or justification. Now we're going to move on to problem number 2. For problem number 2, it asks you to divide. I'm not going to check my work because I don't have enough room. However, you can if you want to. Now, for problem A right here, we have 75 and 9 tenths. And I'm putting the first number inside, and the second number goes on the outside, which is called your divisor. How many times can 22 go into 75? I know that 22 can go into 75 3 times. How do I know that? I thought in my head 22 can be rounded to 20 and 75 can be rounded to 70 or even 75. I can keep it. How many times can 20 go into 75? About 3 times. So now I'm going to multiply 22 times 3. 3 times 2 is equal to 6. 3 times 2 again is equal to 6. So I'm going to write down 66 and subtract. I cannot subtract 5 minus 6, so I'm going to regroup. 15 minus 6 is equal to 8. 7 changes to a 6. 6 minus 6 is equal to 0. I don't need to write that. Bring down my 9. How many times can 22 go into 89? So I'm going to multiply. I'm thinking, how many times can 22 go into 89? I'm guessing maybe 4, because this one was really close to 89. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 again is 8. 88 works. So I'm going to write down 4 and subtract 89 minus 88. 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. Bring down your 0. How many times can 22 go into 10? 0 times. 22 can't go into 10. So I'm subtracting 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. I'm going to add another 0. And I'm going to bring it. Do I need to bring it down, or do I leave it as? Oh, you know what? I forgot. I have 89 minus. So I have 99, right? Because this one is actually 9. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. 15 minus 6 is equal to 9. So I'm bringing down 99. So that means that I have 9 minus 8 here is equal to 1. 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. And then I bring down my 0. And now I'm figuring out how many times can 22 go into 110. And 22 can go into 110. I'm going to try 5 times. So 22 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 again is 10. Plus 1 is 11. So that means that 22 can go into 110 5 times. So now I am subtracting. 110 minus 110 is equal to 0. So don't forget to bring up your decimal, and your final answer is 3.45. So this one was supposed to be 5 because I didn't bring down that 0. So this is my final answer. Now, moving on to the next problem, we have problem B. I'm going to highlight that so you guys can see it. For problem B, I am dividing 97 and 28 hundredths, and I'm putting that number in the inside. It is called my dividend, and 19 is my divisor. How many times can 19 go into 97? I'm going to multiply 19 times 5 because I know that 19 can be rounded to 20 and 97 can be rounded to 100, so about 5 times. 9 times 5 is equal to 45. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, 95. And that is super close, so I can leave that as is. 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. Bring down your 2. How many times can 19 go into 22? 1 time, because 19 is really close to 22. Now, I need to regroup because I cannot subtract 2 minus 9. 12 minus 9 is equal to 3. I'm going to make sure I bring down my 8. How many times can 19 go into 38? I'm going to try 19 times 2 and see if that works. 9 times 2 is 18. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I get 38. That works perfectly. So 38 minus 38 is equal to 0. Don't forget to bring up your decimal or your answer is incorrect. Okay, so I brought up my decimal and I got 5 and 12 hundredths. Now I'm moving on to problem C. For problem C, I have my dividend is 77 and 14 hundredths. So that number goes inside. The first number goes inside. The second number, which is 38, goes on the outside as my divisor. How many times can 38 go into 77? I'm going to try 38 times 2 and see if it works. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I get 76. 77 minus 76 is equal to 1. Carry down your 1. How many times can 38 go to 11? It can't. So I'm going to put a 0. 38 times 0 is equal to 0. 11 minus 0 is equal to 11. Don't forget to bring down your 4. How many times can 38 go into 114? Let's try 38 times 3 and see if that works. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. I get 114. I'm going to subtract. Don't forget to put your 3. So don't forget to also bring